Hello, welcome back to a game of Majestic13. We will be playing Majestic13 today with the team. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for stopping by and for watching the game. Please, if you like what you are seeing, please like. If you haven't subscribed before, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe. Thank you very much. And if you have any comments you'd like to make about Majestic13, about how I'm forgetting every rule under the sun, particularly the fact that they have ablative armor, that would be awesome. So, we have gone on to our second tier, so phase 2 of the game, which means we use the harder stats for everything because we have a team rating of 10. Last game, we had a casualty of Tank who died in the post-game rolls. The clone came out as off, which means Tank has reduced fortitude, -5, but an increased dexterity, which is good because Tank's dex was only 3 at the time, so now it's 9. And our base is at the max of 6, so I didn't bother rolling for any new things in the base. Just as an update, or just a reminder rather, the team has advanced research items of R-Tech weaponry from an advanced research laboratory in the base, which means that we get plus 2d6 for criticals. We have ablative armor, which means the first damage that anybody takes goes down to 0, if I ever remember to use it. And we have jump gear, which means that we have rocket boots, and we can go up at the same speed as normal, so 1 inch instead of 2 inches consumed for 1 inch of movement. And that is about it. We are facing and I'm going to look down to read it, Aglandian Horror, which I'll show you in a minute when I switch to the other camera, and then we'll do that for the rest of the game. Now, I rolled using those tables, which you'll see in the description, an urban airport runway, but I don't actually have any airport terrain. Corvus Games Terrain has an awesome set for airport, but I was short on disposable income, and so I couldn't afford the STLs. So instead, I did a building site because it's just like a runway. And let's switch to the table, and I will show you what I've set the table up as. Hold on. So as you can see, I've kind of done just a brief sort of building site type look and feel. We've got a road, so this is approximately, so it's just short of 3x3, because for one reason and another, I do not know why, but when I made these tiles ages ago, I made them 11 inches by 11 inches instead of 12 inches by 12 inches. So a 3x3 table is 3 inches short, and I thought about trying to make them bigger, but it was just more hassle than I could be bothered with. Anyway, here is our horror. Our horror is described as the Aglandian Horror appears as little more than mounds of flesh and limbs at first glance, but when approached, the true terror of this creature is quickly revealed. It is covered in claws, mouths, and strange appendages it uses for vision. These aliens are incredibly varied. Some have additional elements mixed into their undulating form, but they are all horrible. So that's basically it. I think it was an STL of a D&D horror, sort of a gelatinous thing. I just zoomed it up and printed it out in the FDM printer. So we've just got a building site type thing. It's a bit less normal and impressive as I normally do. But anyway, I thought it would work quite well. So we just have the spread out. We have the team distributed here. We have Cap, we have Doc, we have Snipes, we have Tank, and we have Speedy. Cap has his grenade launcher. Doc has the sniper rifle. Snipes has the grenade launcher. Tank has the heavy repeater. And Speedy still only has one arm and has a pistol, so Speedy will be calling in attacks. Our initiative order will go. The horror going first on 35, Cap on 28, Speedy on 27, Tank on 25, the horror again on 25, Doc on 21, and Snipes on 13. We are on round 1, and we might as well kick off. So first off, we would have the horror, which is a monstrosity. It is starting its activation. Let's see, is it within movement distance of someone? Its dex is 26. So that would be, so this is 8. This is 8 inches, as has been discussed with Don. So that would be 8, 16. So that'd be 24. And if we count that as 2 inches, and drop it, yeah, 20, so it could probably get to dock. It could use a full movement and get to dock. So if it starts its activation within movement distance of an enemy and there is no enemy with 1 inch, it will move to the enemy with the lowest hit points within its attack range and attack. The person with the lowest hit points at the moment is actually Tank, who is here. And so if it could get to Doc, who is here, I would say that it would be easily sort of slobbily, slimy, slough over here and be able to tower the fence and drop down to here and be on Tank. So it would move. Let's see if I can practice keeping this in shot. So it would move to Tank and it would do a grabbing limbs attack, which it makes 2 attacks with its grabbing limbs, melee combat, and its combat is 26. So it would, well, maybe if it slobbered over the top and came down, it could attack both of them, which I think would probably be 26, wouldn't it? 8, 16, 24, 25 to 6. Yeah, we'll call that 26. That's all right. So it's going to come into there. It does 2 attacks, 1 against Tank, 1 against Speedy. It has a 26. They both have armor. So Speedy has an armor of 32. Tank has an armor of 33. So greens is Speedy. So missing Tank with a 1 and hitting Speedy with a 12. This does 1d6 plus 4 damage, and Speedy needs to make a 27 dex check. So we have 10 damage on Speedy, putting Speedy to 17. And then Speedy needs to make a 27 dex check. 10, I think that's a miss. That's definitely a miss, isn't it? Yeah, 21. So that makes Speedy is restrained. We'll use the blue ones for restrained. So Speedy's now on 17 hit points and Speedy is restrained. Next we have Cap. Cap, who is over here. All right. See, I was planning on Cap moving over and jumping on top of this. Maybe Cap might do that anyway. Cap has a dex of 11. Which, so we just measured that, so that's 2. So once, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So also that Cat can get to the top. Ooh, did you hear that screech outside? Up to there, and then Cap will fire his grenade launcher across to the thingy. So Cap has a 22, a combat of 20 plus 2 for the, I think it's the target assist, minus 4 meaning a plus 18, trying to hit a defense of 25. So hitting, doing 4d6 plus 2, doing 5, 6, 7, 8, only 9 points, doing 9 points to the horror, putting the horror on 171. It has 180 hit points. So that's Cap, and then we have Speedy. Speedy is restrained, which is a dex check at 25, or Speedy can't move, and Speedy really wants to sort of move away, I would guess. So that's at 25. That's a hit, that's a success. So Speedy is no longer restrained, and Speedy will move away. What's Speedy's? Speedy's dex is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say Speedy can get to here, and then Speedy is going to call in the advanced drones, which is the thing from their base, which is a plus 19 attack, and I think it's 5d6 straight damage. So a plus 19 attack, needing to hit a defense of 25, missing, only getting 22. Okay, that sucks. Oh dear. Next we have Tank. Tank will move. Tank's got a dex of 9, so Tank will move to here and will fire upon the horror using the repeater. Tank has a combat of 16, -2, 14. He needs a roll 11 or more. 14, hitting. Doing 3d6 plus 2. Doing 8, doing 10 points. Putting the horror on 161. 161. I just remembered I didn't do foobar, but we'll do that afterwards. So that's Tank. Now the horror again. So the horror, let's see, what has it got? It's probably going to do the same, isn't it? It's going to start its activation outside, but within movement. So it will move somewhere where it can. Well, Tank doesn't have the lowest hit points. Speedy does, but Speedy's over there on his own. This way he will get the horror will slobber over and get to attack more than one. So it is going to attempt to attack Tank and Doc. Tank only just has slightly more hit points than Speedy. So Tank is at 33, Doc is at 32. Tank will be greens, Doc will be reds. That's a combat of 26, makes it say 31 against both, which means it misses both. It will activate again if it gets critically hit. Okay, so it misses both of them. Over here, next we have Doc. Doc with his sniper rifle. Doc is, I think Doc's got, oh no, this is Doc, so that's not Doc, that was Snipes. Snipes has a 33, so it missed Snipes anyway. So Doc is here. Doc has a dexterity of 13, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So Doc can get up to here, standing next to Cap, and then he will attempt to shoot down at the horror over here. He has moved. He has a targeting assist, but he doesn't have the sighting HUD. So Doc has a 16 combat, including the targeting assist. And he needs to hit roll 10 9s. Missing. So rolled a 7. Okay. And finally we have Snipes. Snipes has a very low dexterity of 7. So Snipes is just going to move back to here. And then Snipes will fire his grenade launcher at the horror. The Snipes has a 26. So Snipes has 22. So Snipes needs to roll 3s. 10, so Snipes hits. Doing 4d6, 5d6 apparently. Why has he got 5d6? Oh, because he's got a combat of 24. He gets an additional d6. So 5d6. So 12, 13, 14, 16 points on the horror, taking it to 145. Taking it down to 145s, that would be snipes, so that's target is 11, which is the end of round 1. So we will roll foobar. 1, nothing. And so then we go to round 2. We'll roll foobar now because I'm bound to forget otherwise. A 6. All right, so we have foobar kickoff. Let us see what we get. We get a terrain collapse. All right, let's go. What do we got? We'll use 6. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, and 5 will do something. 5. So Speedy's going to get hit. So terrain collapse, randomly okay, all models will suffer 1d6 plus 2. So Speedy suffers 3 points. So Speedy takes 3 points. Putting Speedy on 14. Alright, so top of round 2 is the horror. The horror is within 1 inch of someone. 1 inch of enemy, it did not attack. No. 1 inch of an enemy, it did attack during its last activation. It will move up to its full movement distance towards the enemy with the lowest hit points within its range and make a first attack against profile. Alright, so let's go massacre Speedy. So it definitely can get to Speedy, so it is going to leave tank and it's going to slobber over here and slime across to do 2 attacks on Speedy. Oh, 5 and a 4. I don't think either of those hit. Combat, which would be a 30 and a 31, and Speedy has a defense of 32 now. We're in tier 2. So both those attacks miss Speedy. Next we have Cap. Cap is now on top here. Cap can see the horror, so Cap will fire on the horror. A 12 plus 16 is 28, hitting his defense of 25. Cap doing 4d6 plus 2. Awful. 8 doing 10 points, taking it to 100. Sorry, taking it to 135. Next we have Speedy, who is trapped over here. Speedy is going to use the movement of 11 to go through the building, around and over to the other side here, and then Speedy will attempt to, so although it's only round 2, Speedy's pistol is useless, so at this point Speedy is just going to attempt to call in that drone, the drone attack. So we're on round 2. It's urban, which means we get +1, means we get +3. 3 and 3 is 6, so that will call that in. This is, I'm going to have to look this up, a +21 attack and 5d6 plus 4, I think it is. So +21 attack against the horror. On that one. Okay, that misses. 22 misses. And it's in that one, so it misses anyway. So the drones come in and just dive headfirst into the building and just detonate against the building, leaving the horror untouched. Next we have Tank on 25. Tank is here. Tank has a dexterity of 9, so I think Tank will just about clear this fence, drop down onto the other side, and then open up straight across. Tank has, I think I said it was a 16 after modifiers, so Tank needs to roll a 9 or better. 19. I don't think Tank gets, no, sadly Tank does not get the 19 or 20, so he does 3d6 plus 2 damage against the horror. doing 11, 13 points, putting it on 122. So that's tanks, and now we have the horror. The horror could try chasing Speedy down, but that's not a double. So the only people that he could attack, double attack, are on top of here. But Speedy does have the lowest hit points, and it is saying go for the person with the lowest hit points, attacking 2 people if possible. So it is going to slime around, chasing Speedy down to try and extinguish Speedy's life force and absorb Speedy into itself. And doing 2 attacks against Speedy. Both hitting. We'll just, that's 2 hits. Doing, what would that be? 2d6 plus 8. 2d6 plus 8. Which is 12, 16. Speedy only has 14 hit points left. So it kills Speedy. So Speedy goes down. Next we have Doc. Doc is up on the top here. Doc hasn't moved. Doc has a shot on the target. So Doc will roll to hit. Doc has a 16. 16 and 9, 25. Bang on its defense. Doing 2d6 plus 5. Doing 13 points. Putting it on 109 hit points. Just try and do it with my left hand. Then finally we have Snipes. Snipes is here. So Snipes will consume his tiny dexterity movement to climb on top of the car and then get a shot on the horror across there with Snipes' grenade launcher. So Snipes is has an 18 to hit, needs to hit a 25, so needs 7s, a 3, misses. Whoops. So that is the end of round 2. Round 3, we've had Fubar, so we don't have to worry about Fubar anymore. Top of the round, we have the horror. So the person with the lowest hit points now is Tank. So it is going to come undulating, that's a good word, undulating across and come to Tank. Doing 2 attacks against Tank, whose defense is 33. So we definitely have a hit. And what did I say? 26. So yeah, we have a hit. So that's a 35 and a 38. 39. So 2 hits against Tank. Doing 2d6 plus 8. Yep, 2d6 plus 8. 11, 19. Leaving Tank on 1 hit point. And then Tank needs to make 2 Dex 25s or be restrained. So Tank is restrained and on 1 hit point. Next we have Cap. So Cap being up here is just going to shoot down upon the horror. Oh, an 18? 18, isn't 18 a crit? No, 19 and 20 is a crit. But that's a hit, doing 4d6 plus 2 damage. Oh, I didn't remember the bloody ablative armour, did I? Alright, the next hit on Tank, Speedy sadly has copped it. The next hit on Tank will absorb the ablative armour, which is pretty cool because it's going to be a massive hit because he's restrained. But doing 4d6 plus 2. Ooh, so we've got 10, we've got 15 hit points. So doing 15 hit points on the horror, leaving it on 94. Well, its health's coming down. So that was Cap. Now Speedy is out. So now we have Tank. Tank is restrained. So Tank needs to make a 25 dex check. No, that's going to fail. So Tank is restrained. So he's still restrained, standing there. But he can open up with his heavy repeater. He's got a 14. 14 and 17 is definitely going to hit it. Doing 3d6 plus 2. Not so good. So what's that? 7, 8. Doing 13 hit points. So 13. Putting it on 81 hit points. That was Tank. Now we have the Horror. Okay. If the Horror has an enemy restrained within its melee range, it will use Chewing Frenzy during its activation. The target must succeed on a Fortitude stat check of 28 or suffer 4d6 damage and become stunned. So he needs to make a fort check of 28. His fort is now 5, which means he needs to roll 23. He fails. But the ablative armour means that he takes no damage, so he stays on 1 hit point. But we will make him stunned. So Tank is stunned, and then we have Doc, who is on the top of the... So I thought this camper van could be like the site office. I don't know if I said that at the start, I can't remember. So this is the site, rather than just a camper van in a campsite, in a building site, that's the site office, hence like the generator next to it for making cups of tea. So Doc will fire on the Horror. 3 is going to... Doc misses. And then we have Snipes, who's up here with the grenade launcher. He is going to launch on the Horror. 7 plus 22 is 29. That hits. Doing 5d6. Doing 10, 20, 23... plus 2, doing 25. Doing 25 points on the Horror, leaving it on 56 hit points. So, Snipes, end of round 3. So we now move on to round 4. Round 4, the Horror. If the Aglandian Horror uses Chewing Frenzy during its last activation and its enemy is stunned within its melee range, it will use Consume All during its activation. The stunned target must succeed on a Fortitude check of 29. That's impossible for Tank to do. Tank's only got a Fortitude of 5. So Tank will suffer 8d6 damage and the Horror heals 4d6. So Tank dies and the Horror heals 4d6. 5, 6, 7, 13, leaving it on 69, dude. So that was round 4, top of round 4, Horror. Now we've got Cap. Cap will fire the grenade launcher at the Horror. And then, yep, 30, that hits, doing 4d6 plus 2. Come on, Cap, all 6s. Close. 18, doing 20 points, taking it to 49. We might get it down, taking it to 49. It goes into Extremis on 45, which means that we've then got Speedy, no, Tank, no, back to the Horror. Who's got the lowest hit points? So we've got a 27 for Cap. We have a 28 for Tank. And so Snipes is on 25. So it is going to lumber over here. All right, because Tank is up here, because Snipes is up here, I'm going to say that Snipes has cover from it doing a reaching attack. So it's going to do two attacks against Snipes. Snipes has an armor of 33. It's got a combat of 26. So it is going to need 7s. Okay. So as it has, it's the lowest, that's a 5, so the first attack misses. And a 7 is an exact hit, which is the lowest, so it doesn't get the 20. So 1d6 plus 4, doing 9 points. And Snipes needs to make a dex check of 25, which fails. So Snipes is restrained and took, how many points? 7? Let's say 7, not that I can remember. So Snipes takes 7, putting him on 18, and he is restrained. So that was the horror. Now we have Doc. Doc has the sniper rifle, so Doc is going to fire down on the horror. A 9 plus Doc's 16 is a 25, which is exactly what Doc needs. Doing 2d6 plus 5, doing 15 points, which puts it into Extremis. So 15 points puts it on 34. It is now in Extremis. Doing 30. Snipe shouldn't have took any damage from that attack because of the ablative armor. So the next attack Snipes will take. So we'll just say he took no damage. So he is still on 25 hit points, but he is restrained. So that was Doc. And now we have Snipes, who is restrained. So Snipes will attempt to make a 25. I don't think he can make it. Oh no, he can. If he rolls a 18 or more, he'll make it. No. So Snipes is still restrained, and Snipes will fire down into the horror. An 18. He crits on a 1920. So Snipes does 5d6 plus 2. Snipes, in theory, can kill it. Can he? No, he can't. He can't. He would be two points short of killing it. Oh, wow. Close. So we've got 18, 20, 22 points on the horror, putting it on 12 hit points. So that's Snipes. That is the end of round 4. We start at the top of round 5. The horror is in Extremis. The horror has 12 hit points left. It starts by taking 2d6. So it takes 7 points, leaving it on 5. It then has 2 actions. Its first action will be to use Chewing Frenzy on Snipes, which means Snipes must make a fortitude check of 28, which means that Snipes needs to roll 18 or more. Nope, Snipes fails, which means Snipes now takes 4d6 damage and is stunned. So Snipes takes 15 points of damage, and Snipes is also stunned, leaving Snipes properly this time on 10 hit points. We then have Cap at the top of the round. Cap needs to shoot down into it. It has 5 hit points left. Cap does a hit with a 15. That would definitely hit. 15 plus 18 is 33. Definitely hitting. Doing 4d6 plus 2. Can he? He can't fail to kill it. 6 points is the minimum he'll do. There we go. He kills it. So the last shot of rocket at the beginning of round 5 comes across from Cap into the undulating horror, explodes, and bits of ecto material, or whatever it's made out of, exotic goo, splatter all over the place, and we just about win at the end of round 5. Awesome. So, excellent. I was not expecting that. I thought we were gonna, the first time in phase 2, I thought we were done for. It was close. Again, I kept forgetting the ablative armor, but at least I remembered it at some points. The horror monstrosity got took out just at the last point of basically We just had 2 more people who could have done something, and then that was it. Outstanding. Thank you very much for watching. Very much enjoyed that. Our first one into phase 2 of the game, which means we are going up in tech level, and let's see what alien horror we face in the next game. Please like and subscribe. It really helps things out, and it lets me know that you're watching and enjoying. And with that, I will say I'll see you in the next game. Goodbye.